With the release of Dragonflight patch 10.1 Embers of Neltharion, Blizzard have completely revamped how gear works, how it's obtained and how it's upgraded. All PvE content has now been combined with this scaling gear system, which goes all the way from Green Explorer gear at eye level 376 to Mythic Hero gear at eye level 441. So let's get straight into this. What is the new 10.1 gearing system and how do you get everything? So the gear can drop from a range of activities including open world quests, dungeons, bosses and Mythic Plus, and will have a set ranking: Explorer, Adventurer, Veteran, Champion, and then finally Hero. This means that all PvE activities are now combined and support each other. As long as you're doing some sort of endgame PvE content, you can upgrade your gear whether you got it from a raid or a dungeon or even the open world. And all this gear can be upgraded through 8 upgrade levels, except for the hero gear, which can be upgraded through 5 levels. Think of these as like tiers, and you go up the item level. It works very similar to Valor, how you get a low piece of Valor gear and you rank it up, spending more Valor at each level. I'll throw up the range of levels and talk through them all now. So first up is the Explorer and the Adventurer gear. These drop from open world quests, mobs, and normal everyday activities in 10.1. Just doing the intro quest into the Zaralek Caverns and doing the world quest there, you will have a ton of these gear sets, and they can be upgraded to 398 and 411. So it's a great catch-up gear for alts if you're leveling a new character in Season 2, or if you're just looking to fill a gap on your main of a piece that you just couldn't fill in Season 1. And then onto the Veteran gear. This is item level 402 to 424, and it drops from the Fryak Assaults. These are timed events in the open world, similar to Primal Storms that we had in the last patch. And the Veteran gear also drops in LFR raids and Mythic Plus dungeons up to +8. So there's quite a wide range of getting these, but you can kind of assume this is like the LFR level gear. So it's good entry gear at the easier side of the raids and the earlier side of the Mythic Plus. Onto the Champion gear, this is 415 to 437. You'll be able to get a limited amount of these from the big weekly quests, so maybe like one every so often when it's up in this big weekly quest. The normal raids will also drop this level gear, and the higher keys of +9 to +16. So it's really nice to have that gap filled up to the 15s. So, there's a good reason to now go back and play +10s and +11s and actually do the earlier content, hopefully. We'll not fully see it playing out in Season 2, but I think it will help bridge that gap and fill that little space between early Mythics and late Mythics. And finally, Hero gear. This is item level 428 to 441. This drops from the highest keys, so 17 and above, and from heroic raids. There's no open world way of getting this gear so far that I've seen, but this is the best gear of this type in the game, and it can be upgraded at its final level. So this goes through 5 tiers, and the 441 is the last tier, and that is on par with Mythic raid gear. And if this system's a little confusing, it was to me, the best way I think of it is Explorer and Adventurer gear is just open world gear, like the green gear that you would get from questing. Veteran gear is your LFR gear, Champion gear is your normal raid gear, and Hero gear is your heroic raid gear. That's a really simple way to explain it, but it comes from other areas as well. Okay, and you'll notice a lot with these levels that everything crosses over. These aren't fixed brackets. As you level up one piece of gear, it will be higher than the lower piece of gear in the next tier. So if you upgraded the Adventurer gear to 5 out of 8, upgraded it 5 times, it would be the same level as a Veteran level 1 gear. So, you can progress yourself into the next gear set. So let's talk about how to upgrade them. So to upgrade this gear, you need something called flightstones, which are a new currency in Dragonflight 10.1. They drop from everything: quests, treasures, bosses, events, everything. So don't worry about these, just play the game. Just do your content, do your dungeons, do your world quests, do your dailies. Just do everything in the new content and you will be just dripping in flightstones. Which is good because everything needs a flightstone. It's not just the early gear that needs flightstones, even the high-end endgame gear also needs flightstones to upgrade it. So definitely be cautious. There's a cap on these as well. So be very cautious how you spend these. And then the next thing is the shadowflame crests. These are this all sounds too easy, right? So these are your blockers. The shadowflame crests drop from high-end content and are needed to upgrade gear past around level 402. So once you start leveling gear into its higher ranks, you start needing the shadowflame crests. So if you get a piece of veteran gear, the first couple of levels, you just use flightstones. Once you start, I say you can push to the higher tiers. As you push into like level 5s and 6s, you're going to need these crests. So this is where you're going to need the real key upgrade materials to really push your gear into normal gear, heroic level, and those really high item levels. And the price of materials needed vary depending on the gear being upgraded. So I'll break all those down now. So your Explorer gear doesn't need any crests. That's just flightstones. Your adventurer gear needs something called Whelpling's crests, and they drop in LFR and mythic plus 1 to 5s. Your veteran gear needs Drake's crests, and they drop in normal raids and mythic plus 6 to 10s. Champion's gear needs Worm's crests, and they drop in heroics and mythics 11 to 15s. And then finally, the hero gear needs something called Aspect's crests, and they drop in mythic raids and mythic 16 pluses. So this is where you're going to have to grind. This is where if you have this gear and you want to push it to 5 out of 8, 6 out of 8, 7 out of 8, and then finally 8 out of 8, or if you want to take the hero gear to mythic raid level, you're going to need to grind out these dragon crests first. But yeah, I think I'm going to end it here because I want to keep this short and informative. I don't want to just make it a 15-20 minute video and just drag it out and tell you every single little detail. I just want to make something that seems quite complex and confusing, maybe simpler, or at least just put all the information in one place. So if you come back to it later, you can go, hold on, what's a crest? And you can just jump to that part and see where they come from. I've tried to keep everything on screen as well, so you don't just have to listen to my voice. You can just jump around the video. It's all timestamped. Hopefully that helps. If this video did help, liking it helps me out a ton. Subscribe if you want to see more. And if you've got anything to add, this is a very complex, new, big system. There's a lot more than this video. There's a lot of details in the game. So if you do want to add something in the comments, help other people out, that would be appreciated too. And if I've missed anything, let me know. That's it for this. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.